This video was brought to you by Stormberg, Abed Route Planner, MisterGreen, Kempower and Marcus Bil.
Pilot driving LCC deactivated. Pilot driving LCC deactivated. Pilot driving LCC deactivated. Xpeng driving LCC deactivated.
Yo, what's up? We are now sitting in a Xpeng P7
Please hold the steering wheel. Please hold the steering wheel.
Wing edition. And
Xpeng driving deactivated.
this is the performance version. So, yeah. And yes, I had to show you guys all the ding-dongs, but normally you wouldn't hear that much. It's just that, yes, if you change lane a lot and if you go a little bit too close to some of the lines, it will bug and beep at you. So yeah, I will go to the regular big and Haug speed bumps, but I should mention that this car, I mean, how is it to drive? It actually has very good ride. One of the best ones for a Chinese car. So yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but you see the car almost doesn't roll in the roundabouts and curves. So it's very nice and tight. I guess that's just, you know, this car is like that. It's a kind of sport sedan. We can try the. It's like tight. Yeah. So that's good. That's good. It should be like this, right? For this car, you don't expect it to be like a boat or anything. So, but it's not only like this. You can also make it comfortable. Wait, I think there's a little bit of fogging here. I think I have to put this one on auto. Yeah, let's do it like this. Okay. Okay, let's see now. The speed bumps here, they're quite hard. And for cars with hard suspension, you will feel it. Wow, it just floats over the speed bumps. See? Yeah. Really, really good. But, however, whoa, give me that thing. Oh, here you are hiding the Ioniq 5s, huh? Oh, leaf. Wait, do you have audio over here also? But it is really good, I have to say. Look at this. Oh. But before I picked up this Xpeng P7, I was test driving the BMW i4 M50. Yeah. So let me try this at an angle. Yeah, does it also quite well. Okay, like this. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So when it comes to the whole suspension ride quality, this one is way better than Model 3. Model 3 is just too harsh. Okay, very sporty. That's good. On the track, Model 3, I would assume would be better, but for day-to-day driving, the P7 is way more comfortable. So the P7 actually, the whole ride and everything and soundproofing is closer to a Model S, but the pricing here is closer to a Model 3. So the reason why I compared against Tesla is that they were the ones doing it also, Xpeng. So that's why. And actually this P7 performance also competes in the same price range as Model 3 long range, and they are kind of similar in performance, except for that the Model 3 long range is way more efficient. Because this one, I don't know, man, what's up with this, but it is kind of thirsty, and now that it gets somewhat cold, around 10 degrees Celsius. But okay, about the whole ride here. I mean, it's really good, but when I came from the BMW i4, right, and I sat in here and I started driving, I was like, oh, it's not as good as the BMW. So I'd say it's not really on the same level as the German cars, but close though. See? You see? We are not even in sport mode. We're just in standard mode, and this car is really playful. And we only have around 60% state of charge. Well, actually, I don't know, because this car doesn't show you percentage anywhere. But okay, so that's the thing. It's a really fun car to drive. It's comfortable, pretty good soundproofing. However, I have to point it out that when I tested this car 2 years ago, I was really amazed. But meanwhile, more and more cars have been coming out with even better soundproof. Like Aria is more quiet than this one. Like even the MG Marvel was really quiet also. So, but still, it's still more quiet than the Model 3, since that's the rival, right? But I don't think it's as quiet as Model S. But Model S is it's not fair to compare against Model S, because Model S is way more expensive. Actually, nowadays twice as expensive. But Model S is just another class in way more space, you know, more comfort, more speed, more range, faster charging, everything. Yeah, speaking of charging, the problem with this car is that it charges kind of slow. It maxes out at 79 kilowatt only. Most of the time, you will be hovering around 70 kilowatt. So, I mean, it's a relatively large battery. What was the size again? I think it was around 80 kilowatt hour. Yeah, there's so many numbers I have to remember nowadays. Sorry for that, but yeah. But you would expect it to maybe charge at over 100 kilowatt, right, nowadays, or at least 120. I mean, similar sized batteries, for example, Polestar 2 or Volvo, or they're charging 150 kilowatt. BMW iX3. Okay, iX3 is more expensive, so people, you can't compare it. Okay, but Polestar 2, for example, Polestar 2 costs similar to this car. And actually Polestar 2, yeah, size-wise, space-wise, also Polestar 2 kind of compete against the P7. But Polestar 2, how is that one again? It's I feel like it's actually more cramped in the Polestar 2, but it's fast though. And yeah, but the Polestar is noisy compared to this one, compared to the P7. So it's like, now you can choose, right? So my impression is that technically this car is pretty good. The seats are really good. I sit well in here. You know, I'm not tossed around in the corners. We have actually some side bolsters here. One thing I don't like is this headrest here. It's way too big for the driver's seat. All the other headrests are normal size because we have some speakers here. And normally that's not a problem, but today I was changing lane. I was going into the E6 North, and I was changing several lanes. And the problem is that these headlights, they block some of the blind spot. I pointed out this during the range test, but today I actually experienced how bad it could be, because I was just changing lane. I was checking my blind spot like this, right? Normally when I'm driving other cars, I would just kind of I just turn my head. That's it. But the problem is that when I turn my head here, the fat headrest is in some of it, it's blocking some of it. And suddenly I had a Model X on my left side that I totally didn't see because it was in my blind spot, but then blocked by the fat headrest. So good thing I didn't change lane too fast, you know. So that's the problem. It dawns at me because there is a speed camera here, and then I went too far off to the left or right, then it beeped at me. What else is it? I like the position here in the screen. Everything fairly easy to reach, except for that this one here is a little bit too far off, and it's also hard to hit it well, especially while driving. So, but actually now it works. Yeah. So other than that though, I mean, it's nice that we have an instrument cluster and all that. You know, we are perforated. Well, parts of the steering wheel is perforated. So the controls here and everything is in general very good, but the biggest problem with this car is the software. So as long as you see me driving now manually, not using cruise control, not using ProPilot, if I change lane, you know, I just use my blinker, I change lane manually, no problem, right? It looks and feels almost like a German car. But the moment when you start using this one, wait for it, wait, try again. There, wow, it took forever for it to lock in. The moment I start using some of the automated systems, like even just adaptive cruise control or auto steer, or then the ding dong party, notification party stuff starts happening. But of course, as long as you hug one lane, then no problem. But when you start changing lanes and shit, then there's
X-Pilot driving LCC deactivated.
yeah. I mean, why does it have to even be that long, right? Why can't it just be like most other cars where there is nothing, like a Mercedes or Tesla, or a Tesla has a little chime, that's it. But yeah, instead of this.
X-Pilot driving LCC deactivated.
So wait, I should do a little flip mode soon. Yes. So yeah, and not only that, maybe I should demonstrate, but yeah, we need sharper curves. But when you are using cruise control or auto steer, no, I mean auto steer, yeah, not cruise control, and you go in curves and it's a little bit too sharp, the car will slow down and drive like a freaking Toyota driver. Or sometimes it just fails and you have to take over steering. So but I guess as long as you
X-Pilot driving deactivated.
Okay, as long as you stay within the speed limits, then usually it's able to do the. I started too late now. This is also kind of clumsy. See, I want to enable auto steer, but I have to wait for it to lock in. There. Now it's locked in, right? But
X-Pilot driving deactivated.
Okay, but the Tesla would be faster. You can just lock in. You can activate the auto steer, and then it will just work. You don't have to. It's gonna hang in there and wait for it to lock in. And here, the auto steer, or the X-Pilot they call it, it's actually similar to Tesla, which is that once it steers, and then if you start steering, it will disengage and you are in control, just like in Tesla. But many other systems, you can steer with the auto steer. You can make some corrections and it will still be in auto steer, so it doesn't just go out of auto steer like that. But the difference here is that in the Xpeng, once you do this, wait for it to lock in. Okay, not wait me not. Come on. Today. There.
Please hold the steering wheel.
Okay. Yeah. So now it's enabled, and then you can maybe increase the speed a little bit. Once you disable it for a reason, right? If you just want to disable it like this, but then it locks in again. But in a Tesla, once you disable it, let me see, you just have to give it there. Once you disable it. All right, shut up, woman.
X-Pilot driving LCC deactivated.
Once you disable it in the Tesla, okay, I have to do this.
Driving LCC deactivated.
It will be something like this, right? And you will be in only cruise control. Then it's off until you enable it in a Tesla. But here, I don't know, man. It's just the way it works. It's kind of yeah. But like I said, okay, as long as you're driving at the speed limit, no problem. The only problem is that the speedometer is kind of way off. So when you think that you're cruising at 70 kilometers per hour, you're cruising at around 66 kilometers per hour only. And then you want to increase the speed, okay, a little bit, so you don't become a slowpoke. But then it will slow down in the curves like a freaking Toyota driver. And also one other thing I don't like about this, okay, like I said, okay, the user interface here or the hardware is pretty good, but there's one thing I don't like, which is that this side of the steering wheel has some controls. When you do up and down, you change temperature on the HVAC. And then when you go left and right, I don't remember what you do here. Oh, okay, you then change, it says air volume. Sorry, but it is fan speed. So it's you then oh sorry, let me just okay, so I'm still here, but when you have some control. Sorry, I'm just a little bit tired because I've been double booked now, which means that I had this Xpeng plus Aria and I haven't slept much lately, so my brain is kind of overloaded a bit. But you have some controls here for the steering wheel, on the steering wheel, which does some stuff, right? Controlling HVAC. But wait, let me see what happens if I hold down this one. Yeah, then you can change whatever you want to see show on this side. Okay, it's like Tesla. You can show some stuff here, you can show the stuff here, you can toss them around. But once you enable Xpilot, then suddenly the controls here does not control HVAC settings anymore. Then suddenly the left control here is then controlling the cruise control, or Xpilot, which is to increase speed up and down, or left and right is for increasing distance, which is 1 gear, 2 gear, 3 gear, up to 5 gear, which whatever that means, okay? So I don't like that kind of change of controls. I want it to be consistent. But this is now I'm kind of nitpicking about this. But really,
Pilot driver LCC deactivated.
okay. My claim is that this is a good-looking car. It's a comfortable car. It handles well, but the problem is that it's ruined by bad software. Hopefully they can fix it. But when I tried the car 2 years ago and it was Chinese version, more or less the same things happen with the whole ding dong and the LCC deactivated. And I would assume that they would fix this shit, during 2 years. No, they haven't. And I'm starting to think that there is some kind of culture difference here, because in China, I even remember that Tesla back in the days, when you enable how is this again? When you enable adaptive cruise control, there's no sound. But then some Chinese people complain about this, and there was some kind of accident, and they complain and they blame the car. Chinese people is ABC, always blame car, right, or always blame company. And Tesla had to add a dong, what they call a chime, dung, dung, so that you can hear that you enable or disable cruise control. But it's kind of weird because, as far as I know, no other car manufacturer has a dong or a gong for enabling or disabling adaptive cruise control. So I'm starting to think that Chinese people are different than the rest of the world, because they want to have these dongs and chimes, or the LCC deactivated thing. They want to listen to that shit. But what about the Korean cars and Japanese cars? Japanese cars are fairly quiet. Korean cars, though, they also feel a bit Chinese. Like, they also like to ding at you and stuff. So I also don't like some of that stuff. But they are not that bad, the Chinese, the Korean cars. And at least the Korean cars and also the Japanese cars, meaning Leaf or Ioniq or something, they have trip meter, just like the other countries have. And when you reset the trip meter, it does what you expect it to do, which is to, you have a trip, you have distance, time maybe, average speed maybe, consumption numbers maybe. But in the Chinese cars, also the Xpeng, when you reset the trip meter, you reset distance and time, but the average consumption, which seems to be a part of the trip, is just a rolling average for the past 100 kilometers. So, but I know this because I have actually driven so many different Chinese cars now. Some dude in my YouTube channel asked me, hey, how many Chinese cars have you actually driven, since you seem to, talk about the Xpeng as a Chinese car or something like that, right? Something, I don't know, you got the message, right? And then I started counting. I think I counted 12 or 15 different Chinese cars that I've tested, and many of those Chinese cars, they have similar behavior on things, like ding dongs, like slow down on curbs, like a Toyota driver. Trip meter is a rolling average. It's kind of not logic really, because the trip meter here is grouped together, and you would think that it would be like that, right? But it's not. And also like this, sound effects. I mean, what's up with those sound effects? Well, at least you should be able to turn them off, but you can't. And well, I mean, you have a choice in Chinese cars. When you have some chimes for something, right? You have a choice between, do you want it loud or do you want it damn loud? Yeah, but there's no off setting there. And you see, this is actually like a message or maybe a hint or to Chinese car manufacturers that try to listen to me, because I'm a half Chinese, half Norwegian, half Thai and half German dude, you know. So I believe that whatever I say, many of my followers, which is potential buyers in Europe or in the Western country, they will actually, I mean eco mode, that's why the car is so sluggish. They will actually agree with me, I think, yes. Please, you guys, if you guys are there, just please support me and say that yes, you agree with Teslabjorn with the whatever option. And yeah, so because Europeans or Western people, they don't want lots of chimes and ding dongs and whatever. At least, okay, it should be default off, and you could turn them on if you like. You know, like a freaking Porsche, there's like some kind of fake exhaust sound. Okay, you can turn it off at least, right? You even have to pay for it. But yeah, and other stuff with these Chinese cars, I don't remember really. I have to sit down and look at the infotainment and look at the instrument cluster, and I will find lots of stuff I can pick on that I don't like. And I also think that the same goes for other people. They also wouldn't like the car to behave like that. For example, when I set this car always resets to standard driving mode, and also it was the MG Marvel will always reset to the recuperation level 2. Why? Because in the Polestar and in the Tesla, when you set something recuperation level or even the following distance on ACC, it remembers it, right? So it should also be that in this car and other Chinese cars. That's my claim. But okay, so what I mean is that Chinese, you know, the Chinese, they are really good at copying stuff. So why can't the Chinese car manufacturers just copy the... What the heck is that guy behind me following me? There's some kind of... There's a Toyota behind me. And he's been following me for a while now. Never mind, it's just a Toyota driver. No. It's just weird behavior, really, of that Toyota driver. He's been following behind me for the longest time. No, sorry for the intro. Oh shit, now I have to like really look there. There's nothing there. Okay, there's no car there. But what was my point again? I kind of lost focus there. Sorry for that. This is kind of unscripted anyway, as usual. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, now I remember. You Chinese people, you are so good at copying things. Why can't you copy the Western car manufacturers' behavior and things? Just look at how BMW, Audi, Tesla, well, even your Asian brothers, look at how they have set up the infotainment and the trip meter and the buttons and the navigation and how it saves some settings and stuff. And why would you reset to default every time anyway, right? How those cars work. Why don't you copy them? Because that's how Europeans want them, right? Yeah. It's just my advice, okay? You don't have to listen to this Chinese guy, but yeah, or at least try to discuss it with your colleagues, because I think it could be a good idea. Because I'm not just bullshitting about this. It's not like me being some kind of weirdo. No, you are a Tesla fanboy, whatever. Because it doesn't look like. I mean, it doesn't work like a Tesla. I'm checking my mind. Because it doesn't work like a Tesla, then it's bad. No, I met this nice Norwegian. No, yeah, it was a Norwegian guy today at the Speculated. and he drives a Hongqi. He owns a Hongqi EHS9, and he's watched all my video. And I said, that's a nice car. It's a freaking awesome ride. And I told him, you know, have you driven an EQS before? He said, no. I said, okay. That Hongqi rides, and it's quiet. Well, it's more quiet than the EQS, but it rides like a freaking EQS. If an EQS and a fat e-tron had babies together, it would ride like the Hongqi. And he was like, wow, yeah. And he agrees, you know, the car is just wonderful. And it's spacious. Okay, it's a bit thirsty, but that's what it is. But we both agree on one thing, which is that, what did we say? What did I say again? Software and suger bolle. Yeah, I think that's what I said. Which means that the software sucks. He agrees. He said it. He said it first. I said, okay, your words, man, not me. So, I mean, why does it have to be like that? Because the European car manufacturers, or at least the Western worlds, they are not like, I'm gonna go this way. They are not, maybe not outstanding, but I tried the user interface in the Mercedes and the BMW and the Audi, and they are good in many ways. So, but when I come to Chinese software, I'm like, what? And sometimes it's laggy, sometimes it's buggy, or weird logic, inconsistency and stuff like that. But for some reason, and I might think that, it maybe it's just some Asian thing, they just want to have things, but no, Japanese cars like Leaf, or Korean cars like Kia or Hyundai, they are not like that. So it seems to be only Chinese cars. Now you guys are gonna start defending us, but Bjørn, stop picking on the Chinese people. You know? Why are you hating on Chinese people? Dude, I'm half Chinese, all right? My dad is Chinese, my mom is Thai. But I'm just trying to give you guys some advice about how stuff is, because, okay, to be honest, I'm getting a little bit fed up every time I sit in a Chinese car. I'm like, man, the dings and the and yeah. But I'm also concerned about the customers, because Norwegians or European customers, I guess they can accept it because maybe the price is low or the car in general is nice to drive, like this one. But why can't you just make it better? Why can't it be more perfect, you know? Just make the software better. Long rant about it. Yes, you know what? I even talk about it in the live stream that I should be like Sandy Munro. I should be a consultant. So car manufacturers, before they release the car, okay, they can show the prototype and everything, right? It's just plywood under the car or whatever. But once they have some kind of drivable pre-production with some software or hardware even, or at that stage, or maybe even slightly before that stage, they should hire me and ask me how they should build an EV. And I can tell them, okay, you need heat scavenging, it's very nice. You need a heat pump, would be nice. Also a dedicated battery heater. What else? Yeah, you should be able to preheat the battery before you are fast charging. But also maybe charge port should be on the left side with the right side, on the right side with the wrong side. And about the charge port placement, where it should be. And also when it comes to software, you should have different levels of recuperation. And what else? Navigation. When you navigate somewhere, the car should try to estimate how many % you will arrive with. You always show percentage in the instrument cluster. I ask a bunch of people in the live stream, hey, on your mobile phone, do you show percentage on your phone, or do you just have some kind of battery icon with low, mid, high level? They say, everyone answered that they show battery percentage, which means that for something like a phone, you actually want to show battery percentage somewhat accurately. And I believe that the same goes for a car. But when I have a lawnmower, then I don't care about showing percentage in that high precision. 3 dots for the lawnmower battery is good enough for me, right? So But I mean, it sounds, I feel like a car manufacturer who designs software or even hardware for an EV, they haven't driven EVs before. But I mean, why don't they just ask someone who knows about this? Like me, for example. But I mean, this was just a suggestion. I will most likely not take any offers and help. I mean, I could, but I probably have other shit to do, like drive cars. But if I would be like some kind of Sandy Munro person consultant, you know, I would point out what stuff you should do. Yeah, and of course, if they don't agree, they don't have to follow. It would be just like recommendations. I think that's also what Sandy Munro did. He made some recommendation about the production, how to improve the production or cut down cost and whatever. And then it would be up to Ford or GM or whoever who paid him to figure out whether they want to implement it or not. Yeah, so I'm just, you know, tossing out some ideas that car manufacturers should try to nail down the software, especially the software, early on. Not do it like many car manufacturers doing it today, is that they, you know, show some prototype and then they, you know, release the car, and then the software is shit or buggy or inconsistent or annoying or stuff like that, and then they go back and say, well, we're going to fix this with some OTA. Well, actually, the OTA requires you to go to the service center. Yeah, so actually pure real OTA should also be a must-have. So, but okay, this video is now a little bit beyond this car, but it also affects this car because I also consider this P7 to be under the typical car. I would say that, yeah, the software is not good enough for, or I mean, maybe not good enough. The software in this car is not optimal for the European market. I think that's one nice way to say it. Yeah, that's my claim. Okay, you guys don't have to agree with me, but yeah. So yeah, but what should I say about the P7? Would you should you buy one? Have you ordered one? Should you keep it? Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a nice car. It's a good-looking car. But when it comes to the freaking wing doors, by the way, you saw it. I don't see the point of it. The reason why I chose to test the wing doors is because it's flashy. So it's all about getting the clicks in the thumbnail, right? I mean, thumbnail needs to look interesting. But they are impractical. Like I find myself standing next to the car. I press it, I want to open the door, and then it detects me, and then it doesn't open fully. And it's being over careful about, you know, it has sensors, you know, like Tesla Model X has sensors, so it doesn't open and bump into shit. But it's being oversensitive, and it doesn't always open when it should open. Wait, is it? That was that was an Ioniq stranded by the road, or should I? Okay, I'm gonna ask.
Pilot driving deactivated.
I'm gonna go ask the Ioniq if he ran out of juice. EcoFlow is ready at 80% at home, but I don't know, man. I didn't bring EcoFlow with me. Yeah. So what was my point again? I have so short attention span. But oh, by the way, you can hear that here we have rough ass, smooth ass. So it's not the most quiet car out there, but relatively quiet at least. Yeah, the door, freaking wing doors. Yeah, the problem is that I suspect that the doors might have some extra weight for it, because for some reason this version here, the wing door, or at least the one I have now, is significantly heavier. I think it was almost 100 kilograms heavier, maybe 80 kilograms heavier than the Chinese version with the regular doors I tried, but it could be other changes. So I'm not sure, but also the wing doors, the wing edition costs a lot more than the regular one. And for me, those wing doors became cumbersome already the first day. So that's why I'm saying that, you know, try them maybe, but don't just gamble for it. It's not going to kick ass for the Lord. And also, the first thing I tested was, oh, what about the tight spaces? Maybe that's the whole point, because you open kind of upwards or up to the side rather than out, right? No, the freaking sensors are too sensitive, and I haven't found a place where you can change the sensitivity to be tighter. So it would just fail to open. Yeah, so I don't know, man, what's the point of the wing doors. Just don't get it. That's my recommendation if you're not sure. Okay, let me see. What about that Ioniq dude now? Whoa. Okay, then this is Baustelle or service something, or this is not with the Ioniq guy. Oh, but it kicks. Oh, but it has that artificial lag. You see, even if I put the car in sport and you hammer it, did you feel that? The until it went. I mean, what's up with that? You know? I mean, it's an electric car. It has instant torque. It should just bam, like a Tesla, for example. Oh man, those. Okay, let me see. I had to focus a little bit on the Ioniq guy. He's around here. Just want to check out what's up. You are in my neighborhood. No, he's gone. No, he's not gone. He's gone. Okay. I'm just gonna ask him, what's up? What happened to you? And he's going, oh, Teslabjorn. Right, warning triangle, kind of closed-ish. Did he run out of juice or what happened? Hei! Hei sann! Hei! Hva har skjedd? Er du tom for strøm, eller?
Hva skjer da?
Er du tom for strøm?
Det er den dekket.
Å ja, dekk! Ok, da er det greit da. Ja, lykke til!
Takk skal du ha.
Hæ?
Takk skal du ha. Det kommer
Ja, ok.
en sånn chip for deg.
Ja, ok. Ha det.
Ha det.
I think it was a blown tire or something. Okay, Ioniq, okay. All right. Fortunately, normally I wouldn't do this in the daytime because this road is freaking busy. But now at night, you see how it is. It's very empty. So then I was kind of blocking some lanes and shit there. But yeah, I just want to help out, maybe help out the potential buddy. But it's some kind of blown tire or some shit, then I could help. But yeah, the help is on the way. Yeah. But if it's out of juice, then we could probably just push it down the hill and then you can start regenning, right? Yeah, but how do I put this? This car, should you get it? It's not that expensive. Well, that's the thing, because for example, the Hongxi. The Hongxi was so good. Well, I think it's called Hongxi. The Hongxi was so good in many ways, like the soundproofing, the space, that for me even looks, right? So that I would actually consider buying the Hongxi. You know, despite that the software is kind of shitty, and I don't expect them to improve the software anytime soon. When it comes to the P7 here, it's been 2 years and they haven't really improved much at all, except they have translated stuff, right? But the thing is that with this car, there is not something really outstanding here. The ride is not as good as, for example, the BMW. The soundproofing is not as good as Marvel, for example. The features here is not as good as some of the other cars. The speed is not as good as Tesla Model 3 Performance, or actually slightly slower than Model 3 Long Range even. So it just becomes like, okay, it scores well on many things, but you have the software that adds lots of minus points. Whereas the Hongqi was like some outstanding things with it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that I'm not sure if I would recommend this car. That's the thing. But it's up to you, of course, whether you want it or not. People who own this car, they freaking love it. And totally fine. I understand. For a good reason, because it's a nice car. But what is going on here? But it's just that it is kind of cumbersome in some ways, and also the space here turns out to not be the best. I tried it Yeah, I haven't shot a video about it, but I can tell you guys, I put the baby stroller here. The Isofix points are fairly easy to locate, unlike the freaking Marvel. I had to finger fist it, yeah. But here, fairly okay to locate the Isofix. In general, by the way, I would say that the Chinese cars, they are not that child-friendly versus the European cars. The European cars, especially German cars, they have good Isofix points, easy to locate. But the top of the crop, they are the Swedish cars, like Polestar, Volvo. They are really good in the mounting, unmounting Isofix, and you have Isofix in the front seats also. But when it comes to the Cybex e-Priam stroller, this car struggles to the point where I have to take off the wheels in order to fit the stroller here, plus the baby cot, like a carry cot. But in Model 3, I managed to put the stroller in there along with everything without having to take off the wheels, because Model 3 has this deep well under the trunk, whereas this one doesn't have it. I don't know what's up there. There must be some kind of car stuff under there. It's just the flat trunk and that's it. So, I mean, why am I saying this? Am I trying to make the P7 look bad? No, I'm just the messenger, and I just want to tell you guys everything I found out about this car, and then it's up to you to decide, because some of you guys who buy this car, you don't have kids, so then it's irrelevant. But if you have kids, if you consider using this as a family car, you just have to know that. And I also, when I'm on shopping malls, I see other people, I start noticing other baby strollers. And many people, they use Emayunga or some actually bigger baby strollers than the e-Priam. E-Priam, in my opinion, is just some kind of medium-sized stroller. Which means that if you want to squeeze in an Emayunga or whatever in the back there, you'll be struggling. Because, yeah, I forgot to show you guys, but the trunk opens up like a Model 3. It's not a hatch opening, it's not a big door, it's just like the sedan opening, which has their limitations. So, but of course, if you don't have kids, or if your kids are big enough, then don't worry, then no problem. It's still a pleasure to drive this car, as long as I don't use too much of the automated system. Well, can I use X-Pilot here? Yeah, I can. Yeah. Whoa, why is it too close to that side? You see? You see? Oh. So it actually works on these kind of roads, even. Oh, okay.
X-Pilot driving LCC deactivated.
Okay. Let's go home. This video is already too long. Let me just do a turning circle. Oh yeah. Okay. Wait. Well, it's still fun to drive. So yeah. What else is there to say? Yeah, I guess if you want to know more about this car, you have to watch some of the other videos. But I have mixed feelings about this car. That's the thing, you know. There are some cars out there where I consider them good, even though they might be expensive, like an EQS, right? Yeah, you'd be like, of course the EQS is good, it's expensive. Well, yeah, but there are also other expensive cars out there that I don't consider that great in that price range, you know. I'm not gonna name any brands here, but there are some Japanese brands I tried that I was not too impressed with. Actually, it's also some Chinese cars I tested, some big cars, MPV or whatever they call it, which I was also not too impressed with. For the money you pay and the stuff you get there, because so some cars also, some of the Chinese cars, not only do they have shitty software, but also the ride is kind of shitty. But at least this one has fairly good ride. But I should also mention that the ride here, the reason why I don't like the ride here as much as the BMW i4 is that when you go over bumps, the i4 will usually have just a double bounce, boing, boing, and then it kind of settles. I started noticing this, that some cars like this one, it will have more like a triple or a quadruple bounce. I don't know, maybe you noticed it when I was driving that. It will bounce several times before it kind of settles. And I guess maybe it depends on taste, but for me, I don't like that kind of bouncing. Yeah, maybe you like it. I will try to drive a little bit around here, and you might be wondering, why are you driving around the neighborhood? Well, because I will probably try to end it soon. I don't want to start ending the video while I'm at Sinsenkrysset or something. But during the go over bumps, yeah, there will be like a little bit bouncing, and I don't know, man. Maybe I don't have the right answer. Maybe I'm wrong, but at least that's the whole bouncing thing. And in general, German cars, from what I've experienced, is that the German cars, they make really good suspension. Audi, BMW, Volkswagen, Mercedes, but also Tesla, actually. But except for maybe, yeah, it depends how you like it. But Model S, for example, is good, but it's also expensive. So I think I'm just gonna end here. Put it on park. And that's it. It was a long ass speech for me. So yeah, you see, ambient light. Yeah, I should also mention the ambient light here. I like it. However, one thing I'm missing is that in many other cars, like ID3, ID4, like EQS, for example, but also cheaper cars, there will be some kind of LED strip ambient light, but there's also more lights so you can see the interior. BMW has it, you know, like a tiny LED that shines down here. It was not only BMW, I remember some other, I wonder if it was Hongqi also, or maybe it was the MG, I don't remember. But when it's pitch dark outside, no street lights, you will then have this area lit up. But here, there's nothing here. So we only have the LED strip, which kind of acts as nice decoration, but it doesn't function for anything useful at night. But those other cars, like I-Pace and stuff, right? You can actually see all the stuff in the door pockets and everything. So that's the thing I'm missing here. So now we're just nitpicking on stuff. But yeah, I think I will just end it there. Otherwise, the video is going to be too long. But yeah, now you guys have seen it. The Xpeng P7 Performance Wing Edition. So I think that's going to be it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching and talk to you later.